What's happening, fam? This is Dunk. I am here to show you some ways that I am making passive income with crypto today. And again, anything that I talk about on here is just me showing you what I am doing. I'm not giving you any financial advice. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm just going to run you through a couple of the things that I am doing to make money with crypto. And I wanted to start off by just going over a good way for people to start understanding DeFi. Because I think that DeFi crypto can be a very confusing thing for a lot of people. And they don't know where to start. And so what I would actually do is I'm not even going to start with this trading site. I'm just going to go over here. Here we go. You don't need to see all those. I was just analyzing a chart earlier. This is one way that I actually make passive income with crypto and DeFi. See, I was analyzing a streamer coin. I made a quick flip on it earlier. Bought in, sold, made a little profit, got back out. And that's kind of what we're doing with how you make crypto. You find those opportunities and they start to pump or they don't. And then if you take a loss, you take a loss, but the goal is to have more wins than losses. And then there's also passive means of earning crypto. And then there's also other ways. There's Stacker Agent, which is going to become an autonomous trading bot pretty soon, but it's currently a custom GPT. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you could be making income with crypto. If you're wondering what my PFP is, that is a Draft Tower NFT. And actually, before I get started, I'll just show you what that is first, because everybody wants to know what Draft Tower NFT is. And it's been around. It's actually started off on ETH, and then we can go to Magic Eden. There we go. So if you want to join that community, the way that you get access to like the Stacker Agent, by the way, is 1,000 Gary coin, and you have to have one of these draft. And look, the cheapest one is 2.229 Solana, so it is a steal right now. I've been collecting these for years, and because I am very bullish on this project, so I'm happy to and I'm going to be showing you how I'm actually going to be claiming, not claiming, I'm going to be locking up some coin in the DAO. There's going to be a claim, which might even be tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, I'll be sure on my next stream, I'll wait and I'll show you how I claim it as well, just so we're all like showing you how I'm making the money. So what I was going to do here is I wanted to say, okay, a lot of people, they don't truly understand what DeFi is, so they don't really, or crypto or anything like that. So I always like to use Stacker Agent GPT as like a custom GPT. It does help with technical analysis and coin trading, but it does understand crypto a little bit better than just the regular ChatGPT. I do post a link to it in the description on YouTube, so you can go ahead and check it out there. I already created a prompt earlier that I was going to paste in. I'll actually show you this prompt, and then I'll show you how you could just type in. It's like reverse engineered a prompt just so I can give you a good one. I'm going to paste this prompt in here. So I said, explain crypto and blockchain to me like I'm a completely new and have zero background. Break it down as if you are teaching a friend who doesn't care about tech, but just wants to finally understand the basics. Use simple, everyday language and naturally weave in comparisons in mini stories. I like mini stories, like money, email, and arcade tokens, things like that. The examples click without feeling forced. Keep it fun, conversational, and impossible to get lost. By the end, I should feel confident enough to explain what crypto and blockchain are to someone else in my own words, without sounding technical. Make it detailed, but in my voice. Like I'm casually walking someone through it step by step. So I went in detail in this prompt. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go into nearly as much detail as I did. You always can. There we go. Let me refresh chat. And if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I am watching all the different chats right now, the different platforms we're going to. Okay, let's go and see what results it gives us. And I'll also do another one where it's just a very basic question. Also, I want to remind you, if you do get value from these videos or these live streams, if you wouldn't mind just liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell, it really does help tell the algorithm to share these videos and more like it with you and other people that need help making passive income with DeFi. Also, I have any resources that I put it at DeFiEarner.com. That is where you're going to access things like I have a mini course that I'm working on right now that I'll be able to share out there. And there's several links that are going to be helpful for you including a Stacker Agent GPT, which is also in the description of this video on YouTube at youtube.com/@theblockchain. So go ahead and check that out. But let's go and dive into our explaining crypto. What's the deal with crypto? Like, how many people have gone to the bar or wherever you're hanging out. Do I go to bar? I don't go to bars very much. I don't really go to bars. But how many people are hanging out with a friend and they go, oh, that funny money, blah, blah, blah. You get it. And again, this is a fresh output. So keep in mind, like I just took Stacker GPT, I gave it a prompt, and I'm going to show you after this that like a simpler prompt and what it will give you and how like I just went into detail. So think about cash in your wallet. A $20 bill is worth $20 because everyone agrees that it's worth $20. You can hand it to someone and it's instantly theirs, no middleman, easy, right? So it's $20 handed between two people. It's paper, and the reason why it's actually considered money is just because it's legal tender, is because it is decided upon. There's nothing actually backing government currencies like dollars or euros or pounds. It's just the belief that we all agreed that is something. That's what something is worth. There's no actual ledger or anything aside from maybe the Forex markets where people are trading it. Again, I'm just sharing this stuff. I don't give financial advice, so make sure that you are looking this stuff up yourself or use Stacker GPT to help you research it, but always do your own research. Okay, but when money went digital, like Venmo, PayPal, and bank apps, and also banks and all, it just not just those apps, but banks in general. So all banks, just keep that in mind. You stopped handing people bills. Instead, a bank or company keeps track of the who has what list. If you send $20 to a friend on Venmo isn't sending them your actual $20 bill. It's updating its list. And I know it's mentioning Venmo, but hey, writing a check was the same way. You write a check and there'd be a computer that, and granted it was done manually before there was a computer, it was into the computer systems, but it was right now, if you write a check, it just removes the balance from yours and adds it to somebody else's. So it's just moving the number. There is actually no money. So you lose $20, your friend gains $20. The bank or Venmo acts like a scorekeeper. The catch? You have to trust them to keep score right, not messing it up, not freezing your account, and not losing your money. So what this kind of means, if you really break it down, it means, so what if the bank, say you had $1 million in the bank, just let's play that out, and then the bank decides to change it to $1,000 in the bank. Ooh, man, that pisses you off, right? You're like, they just stole all your money. Now, they say, no, you don't have any money anymore. It's gone. It's just gone. So the bank could just change the number, and who's going to prove them wrong? They say, we're keeping track of the ledger. And now the bank could just say, no, that money didn't exist. It's not real. You only had $1,000, and you're trusting them implicitly with that ledger. And without it, there's no way for you to like take control and take it back. So it's very important. So the bank acts as the scorekeeper, and you have complete trust in them. So now, where are we going from this point? Oh, what's up, Jilly? What's up, Jilly? Ooh, thank you for posting the stream, Jilly. Appreciate it. YOLO. Great to see you. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out, watching on X. Thank you for hanging out with me, Jilly. Cool. If anybody else, yeah. Oh, what's up, Bearded? Great to see you, Bearded. Right now I'm going over like the basics of what blockchain 101, crypto 101, and exactly what the blockchain is and why you need to know about it. And in a little bit, I'm also going to be showing you a couple different ways that I'm actually earning in DeFi. But I always think that a foundation is a great place to start. And I find that a lot of people need to know this. All right, so now enter the blockchain. Now imagine if instead of one bank keeping the list, and a bank that you're trusting in, by the way, thousands of people around the world all have a copy of the same list. So it'd be like your bank ledger, but everybody has a copy. Every time someone spends, sends, or trades, everyone's copy updates at once. And this is always, this is how like mining works and everything, and you're fighting over who verifying that the ledger is accurate, and then it says, okay, this is the one that we're going with. It would take a lot of people to manipulate it at the same time, an insane amount of people to manipulate it at the same time to ever create a false transaction. That's blockchain. It's basically the public scoreboard for money and data. Nobody owns it. Nobody can secretly change it, and everyone sees the same version. And I'll give you an example right here. Like here's like SolScan is great, a viewer that you could view the blockchain on. This is for Solana. And let me know if you like me doing these streams. I want to be as helpful and educational as possible. And I want to be just showing you what I'm doing so you could copy what I'm doing and all that fun stuff. Because it's boring winning alone. That's the way I see it. This is one of the wallets that I'm actually going to lock up some Gary in. Let me just grab the wallet address. I'm going to show you an example. So this is what I mean by it's all public. So that's a wallet. I have some Gary in here. I have locked Gary, and then I have some Solana. And I just have that in there for gas. Now, I can go down here. See, I got all so like the last transaction was 13 days ago. And then you go back before that, there was a transaction there. But this is all public. Anybody could see all these transactions. You could see if I transferred something in and out of this wallet. It's completely transparent, 100% transparent. So you can go and look at this. This is Solana again. Let me see. This is the Ethereum 1 Ether scan. It ended up loading. I'm more bullish on Solana than I am on Ethereum, but they are both tokens that you don't necessarily have. You're not necessarily buying. There's not a fixed supply, so they can continue making it more. So I think of both of them as operating system tokens. And that's the best way to put it, in all honesty, because they keep on making more. So if it were up to me, I wouldn't want Solana or Ethereum to be expensive. I like it being cheap, but I prefer the tokens that are on Solana to go up in value. And it's the nature of it. Okay. All right, back to it. I'm done rambling. Okay. So the blockchain is basically a public scoreboard, like we were saying, and I was just showing you here. Public scoreboard. Anybody could see it. You could see it. I could see it. So instead of I trust Chase Bank, which, by the way, I don't trust any bank. I'm super debanked. I do not like banks. I have one entry spot because I have to, because I sometimes get paid in fiat that I could onboard it into DeFi and earn better interest. And I'll show you that in a second too. Okay, I trust the math and the network of the people running it. Okay, so now So now crypto equals money that lives on that scoreboard. If blockchain is the scoreboard, then crypto is the points on the scoreboard. So again, value with money, it's really just created based off of what we believe. If we believe in the value of the money, it's going to potentially go up because we believe in it. That's the reason why governments kind of print money, and then they say, we're going to print money and then put it into the economy. But typically what happens is they print money and then it causes inflation. And the thing I like about crypto and things like Gary Coin, for instance, is one that I'm really bullish on. It has a fixed supply of 25 million. 2 million are actually lost forever, so keep a bullish thing for me. But things that have a fixed supply that can't be printed. So again, the government can keep on adding more points to their scoreboard, while certain crypto coins like Gary or other similar tokens have a fixed supply and they can never print more, which is what I like. Bitcoin has a fixed supply, it can never print more. Part of the reason why I always buy Bitcoin for the long term, because they can never print any more of it. So if blockchain is the scoreboard, then crypto is the points on the scoreboard. Bitcoin was the first one. Man, before I knew what crypto was, I bought a hat with 55 Bitcoin. True story. I think Bitcoin was worth like 30 cents at the time or something like that. It was a pretty cheap hat too, and it was just somebody told me that I had to pay in that. So there is a point where I had 55 Bitcoin and I bought a hat with it. It's a sad day. So Bitcoin was the first one. Instead of trusting a bank to say, yep, you have $1, the Bitcoin blockchain says, yep, you have 1 Bitcoin and here's proof of it. It's the same exact thing, but like you'd show up on ledgers like this, but for Bitcoin. Same one. There's ledgers for this for every blockchain. You can go find them all. They're great. It was a public ledger saying you take 1 Bitcoin and send it here. And then there's an evolution of it over time where people would have to do it over the counter exchange and saying, hey, I'll give you this the same way dollars worked. But then now everything is blocked, like secured. You'd send it and then somebody would say, hey, I'm going to pay dollars for it, for instance. And then somebody would send it in that value, but there'd be a proof that it was sent. And there was a proof that it exists. And there's only so much that could ever exist. So Bitcoin was the first, and so the other blockchains have other types of coins, like Ethereum has ETH, Solana has Sol. That's actually a big thing that people get confused on. Ethereum is not the token, ETH is the token. Solana is not the token, Sol is the token. I consider those the blockchain ones because then they have like tokens, or like Gary is on the Solana blockchain, but it is backed by Sol and USDC. If it's under 25 cents, there's a pool that only goes at 25 cents for Sol, and there's a pool that starts at 25 cents. So if we get back to 25 cents, when we get back to 25 cents soon, it will actually switch back to that pool, and it will actually make it fluctuate with dollars versus fluctuating with Solana. And that's like when people have it paired to a coin, it fluctuates with that coin. But they all follow the same core idea. Money you can send directly to anyone, anywhere, no bank required. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't want permission for somebody to tell me what I could do with my money. And the thing that blows my mind, in all honesty, is that money was always this thing that people assume is like this paper that's in your wallet. But the thing is, that's a modern thing. Banknotes is a modern thing in history. The paper in your wallet, that's not a thing. People used to actually have actual value to the coin that they would spend. The value is in the coin, but that's changed. So think of it like email for money. Before email, to send letters, you needed stamps, envelopes, post office. Email made it instant, borderless, and you didn't need a middleman. Crypto does that for money. You don't need Chase, PayPal, or Western Union. So I could go ahead and just pop up like, here's this wallet, not that one. Here's my wallet. Here's this wallet right here. I'm going to lock up these Gary in just a little bit, and I'll show you how I do it. But this wallet, if I wanted to send it, all I need to do is hit the send button. Done. And just hit, I want to send Gary. Put a wallet address here, say how much I want, and send, and it would be done. Nobody would, I'd have to confirm it and make it say that's what I wanted to do. But there's nobody that would be telling me I can or can't do that. It's none of their damn business. They can't tell me to stop. Now, there's some countries that may block out a website that you may log into your wallet with, but they can't tell me I can't send it because this is my money. And then there's pools, liquidity pools, and I can get into that in another video a little bit deeper. And that's the way that we keep crypto decentralized from anything, that it will just grab from the best liquidity pool. It's really cool. I hope that you're getting the idea. It's like there's no middleman, nobody telling you what to do. But again, money was always decided on the value because of just a belief. And the thing is, I'm more bullish on crypto because there's actually liquidity pools backing it. When, crypto, for instance, you say, oh, that's just funny money. I've heard that. That is one of them. I roll my eyes when I hear people just say, oh, crypto's funny money. What backs the dollar? What backs the US dollar? It's just belief. Crypto actually has liquidity pools backing it, and I can look at the liquidity and see it in front of my eyes. So I'm far more bullish on that, personally. All right, so now let's go to the next part. And again, if you ever have questions about this stuff, maybe my description is not perfect. I just generated this with AI and I'm reading it to you. And if I saw something that I disagreed with, I would let you know. But I 100% agree with this. So step 4, but it's more than just money. Here's where it gets wild. Blockchain doesn't just track coins. They also track anything digital. So anything digital, you could turn it into an NFT. We were talking about, so NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens. And if you don't know what fungible means, it means that it's one is one. So a dollar would be a fungible token or a fungible thing, because if I gave you a dollar and you handed me a different dollar back, there's no difference in value. It doesn't matter. If a dollar is a dollar, $10 is $10, $20 is $20. It doesn't matter, because it's just numbers in a bank if you really break it down. So you have these tokens right here, and these are NFT tokens, and the N, in case anybody was wondering, is non-fungible, meaning this one is not like this one, not like this one. All of these are unique. They're all part of the same collection, but they're unique. So that's where the N in NFT comes from. So you can see the difference between something that you might find here, like a token, a meme coin or something, which is a FT, or you'll have something like this, which is an NFT. So they're very similar, but they're very different. So here's where it gets wild. So tickets, for instance, like a concert ticket, that could be an NFT, but it doesn't need to be called NFT. But it's basically the same concept. Collectibles, digital baseball cards, NFTs, all like exactly what I was just pointing out here. Draft Tower, that is an NFT or a digital collectible that you could use, and it's perfect. There we go, and then awesome. And just a reminder, if you're getting value of this, if you wouldn't mind just smashing that like button, hitting subscribe, and ringing the bell so you get notified the next time that I go live. Those are for YouTube. Wherever you're watching, please do all the stuff that you do on that platform. I love all you. And also, I always give out a bunch of resources at DeFiEarner.com. That's anything that I get, I'll just post it there. It's just so much simpler just to give you that website than to try and tell you to go to all the different spots. I also have, I'm going to be working on a little mini educational course that I'm putting in there, and you could access it there once it's ready. But okay, back to it. All right. So agreements, I'll pay you $500 when the job is done. And what that would mean is it's a smart contract. You could say, when this happens, you get this. It's the ultimate if this then that statement. Since the blockchain is one big tamper-proof scoreboard, you can use it for way more than just who has how many dollars. So who has anything. You just basically can track anything with it. And then you have, like I mentioned, liquidity pools that are backing it. It's like if an arcade token at Chuck E. Cheese, if you don't know what Chuck E. Cheese is, it's still around. It's just not the same. It's not the same as when I was a kid. I miss the good old Chuck E. Cheese. By the way, if anybody knows where to get a full Chuck E. Cheese animatronic set, you let me know, because I'm shopping for that stuff because I want it. Okay, so if Chuck E. Cheese tokens also suddenly worked as movie tickets, coupons, and voting ballots because the scoreboard keeping track of them is that flexible. All right, so it's like interchange, decentralized. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And then I will, why do people care? There's a few big reasons. And yes, I agree, freedom. No banks can freeze your money. You own it, and that's period. Something like this, Coinbase, this is not what I call decentralized. This is basically a Web3, a crypto bank. And so in the same sense that a bank is just making up numbers on a ledger, so is something like this Coinbase, but they have their purpose. I use it to bring crypto in and out of the ecosystem, all these different things. It's honestly what I've been using more to bring crypto out of the ecosystem more. So Coinbase is great to bring it in, but now I've been using KAST actually. And if you do want to grab KAST, you can get it at mydeficard.com. There's also a link in the description on YouTube, and I think it's up on the screen right now. And I love this card just because it's been made it so easy. You could stake your Solana here, but it's a great card because it has they have cash back and points, but then those points are going to end up being used for an airdrop, which is the same thing as any other crypto that you're going to get cash back for in any of those things. So you could just earn in DeFi and never send your money back to a bank and just spend it like it's actual cash, because it is cash. It's just not the cash that the government printed up. This is how I like to offboard it more and more now. So this, and there's other platforms, like I know that I think Gemini has a really good one as well, but I'm really loving KAST. So again, mydeficard.com, links on the screen, description on YouTube, go grab that. No bank could freeze that. So now, to be clear, like if I have a custodial wallet, they could technically freeze that. That's basically a bank. So just keep that in mind. But I keep money in, say, this wallet, which nobody could touch, not one even if Phantom, this is Phantom, it's the wallet that I have installed right here. Even if Phantom disappeared, I could take this and put it into another wallet because I have my seed phrase, and then I can access it. There's no one wallet. The wallet's not tied to one skin or UI. So just keep that in mind. So global, you can send someone money in seconds, whether they're next door or in Africa or anywhere really. But I think that this was a huge thing. If you know anything about the history of things like Western Union money orders, they would charge extreme amounts of money. It's very common in like the United States, for instance. People would be in the United States and they'd be sending it to another country that their family was living in. Maybe it's like Latin America or something like that. It's very common, especially where I live in California. You get a lot of people that would do that, but they would have to go work a lot, and then the whole chunk of their paycheck would go into paying this transaction fee. But imagine if you were able just to say, okay, say somebody's just going, and imagine this, you're on like in San Diego, right on the border in the United States, and you're sending something to Mexico. It's a different country. You go and you're going to transfer something over the border, and they're going to charge this huge transaction fee to send something literally a couple feet, if you think about it. It's them just pocketing your money because they can. Now, what if you took it and bought, say, USDC or Solana or any of these, if you want it to be stable, by USDC. Now, I could just take that coin, put it in this wallet, send it to another wallet that somebody in that other country has access to, and they have it, and then they can go do whatever. They could take that card, they can go, and if they have access to something like Coinbase, crypto.com, depending on what's available in their country, or KAST, they can now go and spend and pay their bills or spend it like cash and not have to worry about any kind of like huge transaction fees. There's always some transaction fees, but they're very small, especially on Solana. On Ethereum, a little bit higher. So open access, anyone with a phone and internet can play. No paperwork, no credit checks. That's the thing. That's another huge thing about it. There's like in Web 2 or like the old world that's not this. there was like a closed wall where people wouldn't allow people to have investments. And I think the beautiful thing about Web3, you could play at any level. And just if I think Web3 is all in just percentages. So if you have a big bag, you're probably going to get a bigger percentage. If you don't, you probably won't. Okay. New possibilities. People are building new types of apps, communities, and on top of the blockchain, powered by crypto. A good example of that is what's being built in Gary Club, which I'm going to go over. They have a Stacker Agent, which is, again, this is the Stacker GPT that I was going over, and I'm going to show you just exactly how to use it in a couple different ways in a minute. People are building technology on top of the blockchain. The catch, there's always a catch. Crypto can be confusing, volatile. Prices jump like a roller coaster. And if you're worried about that, stable coins. You have stable coins. You can jump right into a stable coin. You don't have to worry about it. Stable coins. And for the most part, they fluctuate like a fraction of a cent. But they usually, like when you sell them, they're 1-for-1 for the US dollar. And people have to back it by $1. So it's a digital version of $1. And there's pounds and stuff like that are the same purpose. Okay. Crypto can be confusing, volatile, prices jump like a roller coaster, and sometimes shady projects pop up. Yeah, people could click the wrong thing and then they could steal their money. So if you're worried about it, just don't ever connect your wallet to something that you're worried about. Your bank account wallet, don't connect this. Like this wallet that I'm looking at right now, there's only one thing that I ever connect it to, and it is to Gary Club in order to interact with these tokens right here, and that is it. That's just me. But I have that one wallet just for that purpose. But you can make as many as you want. That's why you hear stories about people getting rich and stories about people losing everything. But the other underlying tech, the idea of a shared scoreboard instead of a middleman, is solid, and that's why huge companies, banks, and even governments are paying attention. And just so you know, a lot of this stuff, you say, oh, this doesn't make sense. It's so archaic. There's a lot of companies that are doing this. They're just not telling you about it. It's just under the hood. So if you had to explain it to a friend in one sentence, crypto is a digital money that lives on the blockchain, which is like a public scoreboard that everyone can see and nobody can cheat. And from there, you can add things like it cuts out the middleman, it's a global, instant, secure, and people are building way more than just money on it, which is 100% the fact. Money, technology, all sorts of really cool things. It's just all decentralized. Cool. And like I said, you could always just say, explain crypto to me like I am a fifth grader. And you could just, I'm like, whatever you want. If you want it might use some like terms of like childlike terms. There we go. Let that generate. All right. So I'd like to see it's the same thing. Think about that. It's using examples like Pokemon cards, which I think is a great example. Why do people value a certain Pokemon card? Because they do. They're rare or whatever. It's like there's less of them. That parallels directly with NFTs. There you go. So it's Pokemon cards, blockchain equals class notebook. And you can go through this. I'm not going to read through all of this version. But crypto equals special playbook equals tokens. So again, like if you don't understand it, you can listen to this live again. You could listen to any of the re-uploads or anything like that. If you really say, hey, I really don't understand it, go to ChatGPT and have a conversation. If you want it to dive deep a little bit closer into crypto, go and use Stacker GPT. Again, there's a link in the description on YouTube. I also have it at DeFiEarner.com, also in a link in the description. And then when you start earning with crypto, you're going to be able to go and use things like KAST in order to spend it, just without even having to send it back to your bank, waiting for a transfer. And when you send it back to your bank, you're giving them access. I could transfer money into my KAST wallet and then instantly spend it. I just tap my phone, or you could have them send you a physical card. So there's just so many ways to do this. It's so many. Look, they have several different cards here. Look how much this one costs. That's a number that I can get behind. It says first 3 months free in eligible countries. Boom, boom. Yep. And you get it for free, and you get to start using it and earning points.